Although I firmly believe remakes should be saved for great ideas that end up being subpar work, listen, I won't deny that every once in a while someone turns in something great. Today I'd like to look back at one of the early remakes of the 2000s remake boom to get it right. One that found a way to bring the original story into the more cynical mindset of 2004, while never looking down on the original material, something that, seems to happen more and more nowadays, but back then was quite rare. If there was one that was destined to fail, it was Dawn of the Dead, yet it didn't. Hell, it just about surprised all of us in 2004, and though it doesn't surpass Romero's original, culturally that's nigh impossible. What we got was a wild, gory, and intense ride that showed off the directing skills of a then music video director Zack Snyder and a mostly trauma writer by the name of James Gunn. So let's get into why Dawn of the Dead works and the scene that defines it. It's wild to look back at the remake boom, far removed from the anger and passion, to see a lot of, let's be honest, safe, stale, middle-of-the-road entries. It's almost cute how mad we got. Man, who would have thought that the Legacy sequel would end up being worse than these remakes? Time's a funny thing, huh? Picking up in the late 90s and peaking mid to late 2000s, we had some... And one of the biggest surprises was Dawn of the Dead.
Also that we can sail off into the sunset on this asshole's boat?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in.
Dawn 04 took the style of hyper-violence, fast editing, and artistic directing and filtered it through a 1970s story. And yes, credit must be given to 28 Days Later. And yes, again, I know they weren't actually traditional zombies, but people infected with the rage virus. But Dawn made it the trend that it eventually turned into. And Snyder's directing flares really made it pop. Not the slow burn meditation of the original, Dawn 04 is a modern action movie aesthetic, telling a horror tale. And so the defining scene is one that represents a style and tone. Now there are a few great scenes that could have been decent discussions, but to me, the opening is the pure batshit crazy energy that Dawn 04 adapted. It's a tad more cliched now, but this 0 to 60 opening was something special to see in theaters. Dude, I was there opening weekend, crowd went nuts, we had claps, cheers, it was something. It is the perfect tone setter, one that establishes the threat, the severity, and urgency. Sarah Polley plays Anna Clark, a nurse coming home after a long double. We get some dialogue about reports of a patient that may have turned for the worse. Another was wheeled quickly past with a neck wound. But of course, it's just another day in the office for Anna. We set up a fake out with the ambulance driver asleep and the doors open. It's a little tension build.
It's starting early.
As the hammer is coming, but we're just not sure exactly when. Anna's doing her normal commute, and it's here Snyder gives us the overhead sprawling subdivision shot. Everyday America. Houses look the same, for the sake of unity, never-ending streets, it's a maze. We are in the Midwest, folks. She eventually makes it home to the hubby, played by Louis Ferreira. After some catching up and some shower sex, she heads in for the night to get some actual rest. Of course, during their water play, they both missed the emergency broadcast bulletin, setting up the beginning of humanity's end, and our main characters don't have a single clue. I know it's quick, but it is surprisingly restrained for what becomes a roller coaster type of action horror movie. Calm with a sense of dread, eye of the storm type of thing. And then Vivian, a neighborhood kid, walks in full zombie, and the adrenaline goes full blast. The reasons fast zombies work for the modern audience is it's pretty much hopeless. Yes, outside of plot armor, a full sprinting infectious carnivore that feels no pain is an apex predator. We are dead, no hope, no redemption, f***ing dead. The rose-colored glasses had worn thin, I suppose, and as a country, especially at that time, it's how we all felt. The thrill of Lewis being killed by a kid and Anna losing the love of her life to be immediately put in danger, barely escaping from Lewis in the bathroom. And let's talk about this great overhead stunt move that feels like it hurts. Now let's look at it again, especially the head. It's a stressful scene with Anna making it out the window just in time for the big reveal. The zombie outbreak is here. We take for granted a moment like this. I mean, hell, the whole scene really, since we've seen similar things in the following years, but the madness of complete chaos was something else. The neighbor willing to kill, and for an out-of-control ambulance to take him out was cool, man. Snyder deserves credit, along with editor Niven Howie, for crafting such a dynamic escape. Anna finds safety in her car, and as she tries to exit the subdivision, we see her small suburb world burning. We're experiencing the onslaught of information as Anna does. I love this locked-on trunk shot as she tries to sort of exit. And if you've ever experienced the maze-like infrastructure of a subdivision, you get why this shot works. It's turn after turn after turn, to then go wide, kind of similar to before, now witnessing the destruction and its far reach. The zoom into the gas station explosion is so over the top, I love it. Full on action here, folks. But here is the real sell. After everything, Anna crashes her car and gets knocked out. We cut to the title card. Some bigwig at the CDC is going through the actual process of what would happen if all of this was real. Lack of concrete information, and the final acknowledgement of complete ignorance. Cut to news flashes of the world ending, scored to the tune of Johnny Cash, The Man Comes Round. As the lyrics reference Revelations, news clip after news clip, we see the end. This is one of the most perfectly tone-setting openings. Cool, tense, and surprisingly poetic. There is something haunting about the line delivery of, "We don't know."
We don't know.
Leading into the song.
When the man comes around.
God damn, that is how you open a movie. Dawn of the Dead turns 20 years old this year. This is a 20-year-old movie. Man, the sands of time are quick, the lessons of life silent, and if you don't slow down and take in the view, then the ride is nothing more than filler.
Say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride.
I aged 2 decades in hearing that this new movie is now factually old. But I've always had a blast with it. Zack Snyder was a great choice for a stylistic heavy movie. And while the remake may have not have been the sole factor, it absolutely played a role in shaping the direction of zombie films and influencing the evolution of the genre for a long time afterwards. If you haven't seen this in a while, it is still a blast. A tad goofy and over the top, but it fulfills the most important requirement for a movie of its type. It's a damn good time.
Is it a virus?
We don't know.
How does it spread? Is it airborne?
Airborne is a possibility. We don't know.
Is it a health hazard or a military concern?
Both.
Are these people alive or dead?
We don't know.
Seems like the world is moving on. Didn't stop, look around. Didn't get a shit if you're crashing down. You can close your eyes but not your skin. Don't believe what you refuse to see. Won't find a way in. But I can't ignore the certain thing. The result of people fighting everything. Try it and you'll find that it will lead you and they'll beat you and then leave you with nothing but a burnt out soul. They say it's better face to face. How can you stop the avalanche of human race? Well, I can't ignore the certain